Okay, cool intro here. Whoa. These guys have a way of just hitting you in the freaking face, man. Hello everybody, Adam here. I am a professionally trained audio engineer as well as metal guitarist. And today I'm going to be starting a very special series. So I'm going to be reacting to the entire Willow album by Reflections. I made a promise about a month ago that I'm going to do that. And this is going to be the first video in those reactions. I have actually already done all three of their singles, and I was so impressed with their singles that I wanted to do the entire album, song by song. So each song will have its own separate video, and I will do that for the next few weeks. And then at the very end, I am going to do my thoughts on the album as a whole, so that will also be a separate video. So the song I'm going to be diving into today is the first track off their album called Synthetics. So let's just go ahead and dive in on this, and I'll tell you my thoughts afterwards. Let's do it. Okay, cool intro here. Whoa. These guys have a way of just hitting you in the freaking face, man. So dissonant. Sounds like a whammy pedal with the electric guitar on the left side. Or just like really dissonant chords. But lots of vocals. Hard left, hard right. There's also vocals in the dead center. But I'm hearing at least 6 different voices going on though. That's a whammy pedal on the electric guitar. That's how they're getting all those weird sounds. Very, very groovy. Man, the drums are so like in your face, but they're not over dominating anything. It's incredible. Yep, with that wee effect, that's the whammy pedal. Guitar work is phenomenal. They've had this dissonant thing going on in the very center of the stereo image the entire song. Okay. That was cool during that tag, with the electric guitar chugging in the right ear and then emphasis only in the left ear. I love that whammy bar, or whammy pedal. It's awesome. Clean guitar, tons of reverb and delay in the center. This is awesome. I love the melody that they put into this. This is so freaking technical. So cool. Man. Alright. So there's telephone filters, the telephone filter effect on the electric guitar for this outro. And they have everything just... Oh, okay. I'll explain this outro in just a second. The audio engineering on this is so good. That's the whole reason why I wanted to do this entire series to even begin with. Okay, so, like I just said, let's talk about the outro. The outro was really cool. How they decided to fade out everything while slowly fading in that really dissonant effect in the middle. So it sounds like what they did was, after that big like drum hit at the end, they still had the electric guitar still playing. It didn't sound like they had any drums or bass. They telephone filtered the electric guitars, and then just had a ton of other wet effects on their like reverb and delay, and just had all that slowly fading out while bringing in that really dissonant part with a lot of reverb and delay as well. So That's how you kind of got that effect to where at the end of the song, it was just that dissonance only. And everything else kind of just slowly fades out, and that fades in, and that's how the song ends. Really cool way to end the song, I think. I love this engineer's sense of panning. That's like the big thing I noticed when I was listening to their 3 singles. So let's just talk about all the amazing panning that he does. So if you don't know what panning is, I will explain that very quickly for you. So panning is where you hear something in your headphones. But a lot of people, like non-engineers or just more casual listeners, think you only hear music in your left ear and right ear, and that's it. That's not true. You hear music even though you have headphones on your left ear and on your right ear. You hear it in what's called a stereo image. So your stereo image goes from 100% left, 100% right, all the way to dead center. That's why I always talk about center panning. And so the vocals, a lot of the time, they do sit in the middle. But I'm not lying when I thought I heard at least 6 vocals in that intro section. I thought I heard 2 separate vocals in the right ear, 2 separate vocals in the, 2 separate vocals in the left ear, 2 separate vocals in the right ear, and maybe 1 or 2 vocals in dead center. That's how you get that huge sound on the vocals. There's a lot of different vocal takes. It is not a copy and paste and then moved over. Like a little bit in order to get that type of sound. That is all separate takes. So it sounded, I'm gonna say at least 4 to 6 separate takes of the vocalist doing the same thing, also at different pitches, using different screaming techniques. So that's how you get that huge wall of vocal sound. It's just amazing. It's amazing to me. And then also all those different voices, they all have reverb and they all have delay on them as well, making for that really big, like, wet effect on the vocalist in your ears. And a lot of the times he changes where the vocals are. Sometimes the vocals are dead center, sometimes there's no vocals in the center and they're all hard left and hard right. Sometimes the vocals are only in the center and they're not in left ear, right ear at all. Sometimes he only has vocals in the left ear and right ear just to emphasize like a phrase or something. And he did that exact same thing for the electric guitars. So let's go ahead and talk about the electric guitar panning. Electric guitar panning in the song is really, really, really good. It's one of the reasons why the song sounds so freaking huge. So, for most of the time, the electric guitars sit in the left ear and right ear. But there are some times, even when the vocalist is screaming in dead center, that they have clean guitars in the center of the song. And they also have like other ambient guitars in the center, but they have a huge reverb on them that you hear in the left ear and right ear only. Like I especially love their clean tone during that really heavy, I'll call it a breakdown tag thing. There wasn't any vocals, and it was actually like quite melodic, and I thought that was a really good production decision. This entire song was so freaking heavy, so it's really nice as a listener to where you can get at least like 30 seconds of melody, even if the song is still heavy though. It still gives you something to relax on, and then when the heaviness comes back in, it makes way more of an impact. If you are writing songs in a heavy genre of music like these guys, then I would highly advise taking some production advice from these songs, because you can still be heavy, you can still have melody, and you can use that melody to actually make your song more heavy when it needs to be. So that's how the song structure and the song production and just like the notes and the arrangement, that's how all that kind of swims with each other to make this beautifully dissonant, heavy, in-your-face song. Let's talk about the bass next. The bass is so prominent, and it's very bassy. This is a very bassy bass. There, I also heard throughout the song they're definitely using electric bass distortion, which I could see definitely using in this. It seems like the bass on my one listen to here was mostly just doing a bunch of syncopated stuff. There really like wasn't like any like bass melodies or anything. It felt like it was kind of just following the drummer and the two electric guitar players. But it still sounded prominent. I could hear it. The drum set, despite how freaking big this drum set sound is, you can still hear the bass quite well. So that's something I really applaud this engineer for, because that's not an easy thing to do. Everyone is talking about their drum set. So I really like how the drum set is panned, and it's like a little bit different from how I would normally pan. But it also helps with how freaking big this song is. It sounds like the way that they had the drums panned, just from my one listen here, is that the low toms are like way on the right side, just way over here on the right. And then the drum set goes from low tom on this side. Then it's like your normal drum set all the way over to the left side. Something that they did like in particular on this song is whenever that like low floor tom gets hit, and that thing gets hit hard, they just throw reverb on that thing. That hit is so massive. Every single time he hits the low floor tom, I feel like my brain is about to rumble. It's so good, and it adds so much emphasis to the song, and it also just, again, makes the song seem huge and full. A lot of the times in metal music, audio engineers are a little bit afraid to go with a wet mix on their drum set. I'm kind of like that too, honestly. Like, I prefer to have my drum sets dry in metal, because it's, in my opinion, it's hard to do to make a wet drum set sound good with a bunch of other syncopated technical notes happening, because it kind of drowns out everything. But the way he cued everything made it so that everything had its own place. So even regardless of all the delay and the reverb on the low floor tom, he was still able to get all the clarity from the vocals and get all the clarity from the electric guitars. Something that I would not be surprised that he did. I don't know if he did it, but it sounded also to me like he EQ'd the reverb. Now, like, there's a few reasons why you would do that. If I were EQing the reverb on this, I would take out a lot of the low end on the reverb, so it just has, because you want the impact, you want the hit, you don't want the low rumble, you want the big hit go out into your stereo image. And a way to do that, EQ where that big hit is, and then emphasize that hit on your reverb. So yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Like, people think about EQ like on the source material. They think about EQ on the electric guitar, or they think about EQ on the bass or on the vocals. But you don't think a lot of the times about EQing effects, or EQing a reverb, or EQing a delay. And you might be doing a lot of EQ on that, actually, because more than likely your source material is EQ'd, and then you do reverb, and then you EQ'd the source material EQ. The song is incredible. The mix is phenomenal. It's a great way to start the album too. Good job. It's a really good, heavy-hitting song to get your audience interested in the rest of the album. I feel like this album, I feel like this song perfectly sets the tone for the rest of the album. So I'm expecting the rest of the album to sound kind of similar to this. And anyway, great job. Great job. Thank you for watching, and make sure you hit the sub button, hit the like button, bell button, comment button, and all that, especially if you're interested in hearing my reaction for the rest of the Willow album. You're going to need to hit that subscribe button, and you need to hit that bell button so that you know when I'm posting. I generally post on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So usually these come out during the daytime. Eastern Standard Time. Usually around 10 in the morning to lunchtime or noon. If you're really enjoying my material, I have a lot of stuff in the works here. I'm working on like 3 different things in the background of all of this that I'm really excited to show you guys. If you're really enjoying the content, make sure you hit the Patreon button in my link below. If you're interested in super subscribing, then that would be great. Super awesome. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.